Welcome to the SIWIKE Podcast, the only podcast that shares the stuff you didn't know you needed to know about jobs, careers, and life. The SIWIKE Podcast, the stuff I wish I knew earlier.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the SIWIKE Stuff I Wish I Knew Earlier podcast. We're here again with our guest host, Minty, and today we thought we'd get into a little bit on exercise. So we did one on physical fitness, and we wanted to do a little bit more of a deep dive on that. So for me, if I can start with my background, I was kind of a scrawny kid, right? And I was, what was it, like 120 pounds soaking wet type of thing, where I just couldn't gain weight. I had to take like those whey protein powders, and I built a little bit of muscle, but not a lot. But I couldn't really gain more, and I stopped using that because I don't know, it caused more digestive challenges than others. So I got maybe through a quarter or a third of it before I said, nah, I don't want to deal with this. And I was pretty good. I never had to really do much exercise. I was good in I guess gym, athletics and stuff. But around 25, right, between 25 and 30 is when my physical health started kind of deteriorating a little bit. Where like after a session of playing volleyball or whatever, it's like I'd be tired, and the next day I'd be sore, and I'd be like, well, what is this? This is new. I never had to do this before, and I had to stretch and all that sort of stuff. And then and I got a little bit more sedentary. Got into work. It's behind a desk and all that sort of stuff. And apparently I got into my peak weight around my wedding, which wasn't a really good thing. And it kind of hit me when the photographer said, can you like stretch your neck out because you have a bit of a double chin? Because I was sitting there kind of like this. So that's not a great feeling. But that's kind of my journey. And then a bit later, I started getting a little bit, or more recently, I've started getting really good with my physical fitness. Yeah, and I'll share a little bit about that. But Minty, what about you? What are some of your things? Because I know you started off fairly healthy, and then obviously you're doing stuff with good life. But what are kind of the stories about yourself in between?
So my story is kind of long, but I'll try to keep it short. Growing up, I was really active. Like my dad really ingrained it into me how important like fitness and being active was. So I was like obsessed with gym. I was obsessed with litplaying sports. And even though I was really like active, I was still a little chubby. Like I wasn't overweight or anything, but I was still a little chubby. And a lot of my friends.
Muscle, or was that like just chubbiness?
I'm not sure. It was like I still had like a belly. Like the rest of me was kind of toned, but like I still had like a belly.
Okay.
And a lot of the people around me were really skinny. So that kind of became an insecurity for me. So I don't know why or when I made this decision, but like one day I just decided not to eat.
Okay.
And yeah, it wasn't a good decision, but I was eating like 4 Cheerios for breakfast.
Like literally 4 of the little circles.
Yeah, like 4 of the little circles with some milk.
Okay.
Yeah, for breakfast. And then my mom would cook me like a really amazing, healthy, like brown bagged lunch. And I would just go to school and throw it out like every day.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was really bad. And then I did it so often that like, I think around like a few weeks, I started to get used to like not eating. So the only meal I was eating was dinner. And kind of when I continued to do that, I started noticing like in grade 8 prom, I noticed like I wasn't looking like myself. Like I looked at the pictures and I just looked really skinny. I just looked terrible. Like there was no like meat on my neck. Like you could really see the bones. And I just felt horrible. Like I just didn't look at myself. And then I think around going to high school, I started to like, well, in my high school, I was, there was like so much fast food places around my high school. So like I was eating there a lot, and I started to gain weight, and I also started to become less active. And so during this time, I kind of like started to gain weight a lot. By the end of high school, I think I weighed like 140 pounds, but like, I feel like at the time it was like, I felt like I was overweight, but like, honestly, I think that's a okay, like BMI for my height. So yeah, but at the time I thought I was overweight. So I ended up signing up the gym, and I did a lot of research on like what would work best and like how to lose weight. So like when I went to the gym, I created my own workout routine, and I was working out like 3 days a week. And then gradually it became 5 days a week. And then I actually started to become more confident in myself, and I started to feel good about myself. But like the number on the scale was still the same. So every time I went on the scale, the number didn't really go any lower. So I did more research and I realized that I wasn't eating healthy and I wasn't incorporating as much cardio. Like I was only doing 10 minutes of cardio. I was more focused on like strength training because I just loved going to the gym and working out like different muscles. I wasn't really into cardio. I actually hated cardio. I hated walking and doing like going on the treadmill and stuff like that. So I finally started to kind of work out more and start to lose weight. My family actually noticed that I was my arms were becoming toned and like my legs were becoming toned. But then fast forward to like university, the end of first year, I actually got put onto academic probation. Ooh. So yeah, and that caused like a lot of stress and like depression and like anxiety for me. So on top of that, I gained like 20 more pounds because I wasn't really going to the gym anymore. I was kind of just like in red and just like depressed and sad. And then I kind of like one day I just thought to myself, I was like, I need to get out of this. So I kind of remembered how happy the gym made me feel like after working out. And I kind of forced myself to go to the gym. It was really tough because I just wanted to stay in bed. But like once I stepped into the gym and like got into that gym atmosphere, like there's something about like seeing other people working out that makes me feel like really motivated and inspired. So I did my thing in the gym and then I just continued to go back and work out. And then I just started to feel good about myself and I started to kind of look like myself again. And then I believe, so I got into second year, I think I was around 20 years old. And in Canada, like the legal drinking age is like 19. Right. So like around this time is when I got into like the whole party scene and the clubbing scene. And I was like, I was drinking a lot and stuff. And yeah, that all caught up to me. And I was like having like, I had like a few hangovers and stuff. And obviously you don't want to go to the gym when you're having a hangover. No. So yeah. I started to gain weight again and I started to feel bad about myself. And so I believe like around like my last year of university, I decided I wanted to change my life. I wanted to stop partying. I didn't want to do that anymore. I got older and I kind of got over that whole party scene. And I really wanted to just change my life and better myself. So I started to work out in the gym again. I started to do some more research. And that's kind of where I'm at now. So I just started to drink at least 8 cups of water. I tried to do more cardio in terms of like bike riding, going for walks, and do more strength training and just really focus on my sleep, like getting 7 hours of sleep. And also like COVID has made it easy for me to become more active now. And I've found it really motivating to want to be active now.
It's amazing. So it sounds a bit like a yo-yo, kind of going up and down now. So we're at the up peak, and hopefully there's going to be a nice slide down later on, where for folks that are on YouTube, you can follow Minty and her journey as well, where she's going to be kind of documenting her process and hopefully inspiring a few people along the way. But tell us a little bit about some of the things that have started working for you in this iteration, because obviously there's different things that worked at different points of it. But what's been working for you now, and what's kind of the plan? And I don't know if there's an exercise regime that you're going to focus on, and then obviously the nutritional, and then you talked about sleep as well. So talk about what's going to be the exercise path for the next little while.
So right now I'm just I'm doing more cardio. I'm focusing on walking because I feel like I really want to show people that like walking is actually really beneficial. Like it can help you lose weight. You can lose a lot of calories from just walking. And I want to kind of show people that like you can do low impact exercises and it can really help you like lose weight. So doing cardio and walking has worked for me. I'm going to start bike riding since the weather is beautiful. And for me, I still like to do strength training. Obviously, it's kind of hard with the gyms being closed, but I like to do like a lot of like resistance band exercises. A lot of body weight exercises have helped me a lot. And just like trying to focus on my nutrition. So like for my weight loss journey, every week I'm doing like a different challenge. So right now I'm doing a walking challenge. And I think for next week, I'm going to do like a challenge where I drink at least 8 cups of water. And then I'm going to keep like challenging myself each week and doing something different so I can inspire people. And I'm really focused on my nutrition right now. Focusing on just eating like real foods and drinking 8 cups of water and really sleeping for like at least seven hours. And yeah.
Yeah, I think what we're trying to do here is showcase kind of everyday people, right? So we're
Yeah.
not like fitness professionals or kind of the gurus or whatever, but we've kind of gone through our own health journey. So for me, what I've started doing, I guess in the past 5 or 6 years is after that photographer said that I should get rid of my double chin, I started getting into kind of more body weight exercises. And what I found is actually it's the consistency, right? So I will do like push-ups pretty much every day, crunches and squats and things like that. And it might be a combination of all three, but maybe for only 10 minutes a day, right? But I do that every day. I'll try to do it during break. So I've tried to, every time I have finish a Zoom meeting, that sort of thing, right? I'll go off and bang out whatever, 10 push-ups or 10 squats or some crunches or something. And that consistent movement over the day has been, I think, a bit of a game changer. And then obviously it's the nutrition stuff, because I think we talked before where you can't outwork your mouth, right? So if you're bringing in bad stuff there, then it's not going to necessarily help. But it's interesting that you kind of focus more on kind of the low impact stuff, because the things that I've been doing have been a little bit more kind of shorter but higher bursts, right? So that like the Tabata, the high intensity interval training, that sort of thing. Or I've also started doing more like time under tension, right? So a push up that I'll do, I'll actually take like 10 seconds. I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2. So it actually takes me a whole 10 seconds to do one push up. And I find that that has been helping me. Has that been helpful for you, or you're just focused on all these different things and you're going to try all of them eventually?
Yeah, I've definitely done I've done HIIT. I love HIIT workouts. They really get you to sweat, and they get you to like lose a lot of calories in such a small amount of time. So I think those are really beneficial. I think for right now, I'm just gradually getting to that point. I'm just starting kind of on low impact exercises, and then I'll start doing like more HIIT and Tabata workouts.
And tell me a little bit about that, like kind of the mindset, right? Because you mentioned a little bit during various phases, you had a little bit of that kind of the depression and not feeling well. But for those that are kind of trying to get started on this journey, because I think sometimes it's that first step or that first thing, that whatever it is, that's the most difficult. What was that for you in this go around that is starting to kind of help you build momentum?
I think something that's really helped me is just really kind of thinking about why you're doing this, like thinking about what is your end goal. I think that could really motivate you to actually put in the work and actually kind of lose weight or whatever it is you're trying to do. Just like kind of reminding yourself and motivating yourself each time you do it. Cause like at times, I do become like lazy. I don't want to do anything or whatever. But like honestly, starting this weight loss journey and seeing like getting all the support I'm getting and seeing people kind of actually being inspired with my journey, like it actually is motivating me to be more consistent. Because I think a lot of the times I've struggled with consistency, but this has actually made me consistent because it's also keeping me accountable.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. So I'm reminded of there's an author, Gretchen Rubin, which she actually has this method or this framework called the 4 tendencies. Basically say that people tend to do things based on either inner or outer accountability, right? So the 4 tendencies are there's these upholders that basically it doesn't matter if it's in an inner or outer expectation, they can do it, right? The opposite is the rebel who can't do either, right? And apparently those two are very small portions of the population, like whatever, less than 10, less than 5% of the population. The 2 big ones are what's called questioners or obligers, right? So a questioner basically can do stuff if they understand the reason why. So I think you hit the nail on the head where there's a motivation where I want to be healthy, I want to be an inspiration to others, I want to whatever it is. And then the second part is they're called obligers, where they don't, the reason actually doesn't matter, but if they have someone that's holding them accountable to it, they don't want to let that person down. So it's actually great that you're doing kind of both, where you have a bit of a why and you also have someone to hold you accountable. So for those that are kind of considering one or the other, think about either your why, and if that's not doing it for you, then share it with the world. So maybe join Minty on her challenge too, and kind of share your journey and see if you can kind of move forward together. So Yeah, I think that's amazing. So what are some of the challenges that we can look forward to? So we have kind of the walking you said, and then water, hydration is definitely important. Are there
Yes.
other ones that you're considering for the future as well? Things that people might want to do from an exercise perspective?
So another thing I'm gonna try to do is like another nutrition one, which is gonna be very hard for me. It's like going like 7 days without sugar. That's gonna be really tough for me
Okay.
because I'm definitely like a sweet lover. So yeah. And then for exercise, I think I'm gonna start like doing like a week where I try to get like 10,000 steps for the
Mm.
week. And then I think I might do like ones where I'm just like working out for the whole week and doing yoga for the whole week. So those are some of the challenges that you can expect. And I'm also gonna do one where I could do I'm just gonna be vegan for the week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you can, or if you'd be interested in putting one where instead of like the 10,000 steps, it's more like the moving around every hour, right? Because it's sometimes I find that people will like, yeah, take that 5K, 10K walk, but then just sit down for the entire day, rest of the day, which I don't know if it's that great. Which I don't know. I haven't seen the research to say too much otherwise, but I've heard that adding more movement into the day is oftentimes better than kind of those individual bursts. But I haven't necessarily seen the comparison studies or whatever. So just something to consider. And on the nutrition side, one thing that I've heard is it's really the concentrated foods that you eat. And what I mean by that is sugar really is some sort of fruit like sugar cane or sugar beets or whatever that has been concentrated into like the crystal form, right?
Yeah.
So that's why it's not good. So sugar is actually not bad, but the concentrated form is not. And things like wheat and breads, like wheat's not bad, but the concentrated form where now you get bread and noodles and stuff like that, those aren't good for you. But the oats and whole grains and stuff on their own are actually quite relatively good for you, right? So just being more mindful about eating on that. But yeah, that sugar one, I don't know if I'd be able to do that, but maybe maybe I'll join you, because if it's one where you're doing the challenge, right? It's a challenge, right?
Yeah.
And the goal is not to like completely abandon it, but maybe afterwards there's 1 day a week, and then 2 days a week, and then 3 days a week where you don't need it as much. So yeah, let me know when you get on that, and maybe I'll join you for that as well. So from your I guess dealings or your travels at Good Life, what have you found from other people that have kind of gone in there? What has been helpful or useful for them, just to kind of give it more of a breadth or other things that people can take a look at?
Oh yeah. So I'm kind of friends with some of the personal trainers. So I actually worked out with one of my personal trainers, and like he's been saying like that HIIT workouts can really be beneficial for people. Like anything like from just going on a stationary bike and just doing like kind of HIIT workouts. So like going as fast as you can for a minute and then taking a break for like another minute and then going as fast as you can for the next minute. I think those can be very beneficial. For a lot of people, I think it's just like doing cardio, but like doing like interval training. I think that's really helpful. I don't think it's the best thing to do like a lot of cardio, like don't do like hours of cardio, but like I think like doing like at least 30 minutes of cardio and then pairing that with like strength training exercises can be very beneficial to anyone who's like just trying to be fit and just trying to lose weight. I think that's very beneficial.
Yeah, I think the best advice that I got from someone is the best exercise that you can, the best exercise is the one that you do. Right? So it actually doesn't matter what it is, as long as you're moving, as long as you're doing it. So it could be a walk, it could be HIIT training, it could be swimming, it could be biking, it could be like a sport or whatever. As long as you're doing it, then that's kind of the best exercise. And obviously, if you can do it a little bit more and a little bit higher quality and all that sort of stuff, then it would be good. So what are some other aspects of exercise that you might want to share with our listeners?
I want to just second that. Like, I think consistency is really key. Like being consistent, I think that's the toughest part about like any goal you have, like being like losing weight or gaining weight or just like being fit. Consistency is like the most important thing. So just like being able to just exercise today and then come back tomorrow and then continue that. It's also really beneficial to take rest days. Like
Mhm.
really listen to your body and just take those rest days when you need it. And it's okay. Like as long as you get back to it the next day, it's okay to take rest days. And yeah, I think walking is really important. I think finding what what activity you enjoy and just doing that consistency. It could be like skipping rope, it could be just walking, it could be bike riding, it could be anything. Just like find something that you enjoy and then just continue to be consistent with it and just continue to really focus on your goal.
Yeah, and I think what we said about kind of that accountability, where if you can find a workout buddy, gym buddy, or just an exercise partner, someone who likes to walk or skip or whatever it is that you like to do, then that helps a lot. And especially on those days where you don't want to go out, then to know that, I don't want to let Minty down because we were supposed to go for a bike ride this afternoon, versus now I'm vegging on the couch, right? Okay, I pick myself up because I want to make sure that you do that too. And the funny thing is you're probably in the same boat where like, I don't want to let Luki down because we've made a commitment. And by doing that together, then you're more kind of the sum of your parts. So I think that's all great and useful advice. And going back to whatever it is, just do something and see what works and try a little bit more, reach out to friends and family and build that support structure and have fun. So yeah, hopefully folks will follow you on your health journey and give us some feedback on what it is that has worked with them and worked for them. And yeah, hopefully we'll have you back for a future episode.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on the SIWIKE Stuff I Wish I Knew Earlier, the podcast. If you like the podcast, please subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you found this podcast. And if you can give us a review, that would be very appreciated. Feel free to contact me on LinkedIn at Lukidanu, Lukidanu, and the same on most social media platforms. And I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks. Bye.